2010. Dave Holliday, editor of the American News, a global newspaper, is suddenly interrupted by a news flash.
Special bulletin. New radio telescope near Greenbank, West Virginia reports sudden appearance of mysterious hydrogen activity near star Tau Ceti. Stop. Believed caused by unidentified flying object heading for this solar system. Stop.
Wow-wee. Our entire solar system could be invaded from space. It's our duty to tell the whole world. Now, where on earth's that girl? Roberta, come in here. Of course, if it's a man from outer space, he might be friendly.
Mr. E from a planet known as Suma.
Mr. E from outer space, hurtling with incredible speed toward the planet Earth, transmits a freak wavelength accidentally received on a television set in the office of Dave Holliday, editor of the American News. Holliday, sensing the greatest scoop in history, attempts to establish direct contact with the ship.
Hello, hello. Hello out there. Do you read me?
Read you? Why, I can't even see.
Hello. Hello.
Hello yourself.
This is Dave Holliday, calling from Earth.
Earth? Look, a newspaper man, boss. Oh, hello.
Who are you? Where are you from? And where are you headed?
I am in Pluto now. I'd better begin decelerating. Takes time to slow down. Let's see, I'm at 2L, twice the speed of light. If I go down to 1L, the same speed as light, I'd go from Earth to the moon in less than 2 seconds.
Too fast for me.
Me too. But if we project that scale out to Pluto, we'd find it would take me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6.5 hours to reach Earth at the speed of light. 186,000 miles a second.
Heading toward Earth from the distant planet Suma has been learning about mankind in the person of Homo sapien. Homer, representing early man, is the invention of Dave Holliday, editor of the American News, and the only human being in contact with a stranger from space. Speaking on a freak wavelength, Mr. Holliday explains how Homo sapien emerged into modern-day man.
Right in the start, Homo sapien had the soul of a poet.
La, la,
He just didn't know how to express it.
la, 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 la.
But by golly, he was adventuresome.
Early man is the invention of Dave Holliday, editor of the American News, and the only human being in contact with a stranger from space. Speaking on a freak wavelength, Mr. Holliday explains how Homo sapien was inspired to create the first cave drawing.
Not a bad likeness, but... Yeah, that's better. The first course in art appreciation. But before the first artist could bask in his own glory, it was time to meet the first critics.
Once again, Homo sapien is in trouble. What new dangers face him now? Sapien. Homer, representing early man, is the invention of Dave Holliday, editor of the American News, and the only human being in contact with Mr. E. Speaking on a freak wavelength, Mr. Holliday explains how Homo sapien developed the 7 lively arts, among them the printed word. (2010 AD). From deep in space, Mr. E speeds toward the planet Earth, listening intently to the voice of Dave Holliday, the only human being in contact with the spaceship. For Mr. E is operating on a wavelength beyond the range of ordinary Earth receivers. Only a freak in communications has enabled Mr. Holliday to reach Mr. E. With great curiosity, the visitor from space has been asking Mr. Holliday what mankind is like. Dave Holliday, a newspaper editor, has been responding by telling the life story of Homo sapien, all mankind rolled into one.
Well, that's the story, Mr. E, the story of man. We people creatures, as you call us, have come a long way since Homer's day. Giant steps forward in science have thrust us into the space age. Our global communications will seem primitive to you, but I think they're pretty good. We have telephones, television, telemetry, newspapers, of course, and motion picture film.
Excellent. To achieve such progress, I assume we've had no wars to speak of.
We've had quite a few, to our everlasting shame. And they never started by Homer, but some primitive-minded, glory-seeking zealot. Cavemen threw rocks and spears. You can guess the rest, a steady progression of bigger and better weapons. This is the ultimate weapon today. A bomb that releases neutrinos.
Trapped in a shower of asteroids. 2010 AD. Mr. E, from the faraway sun of Tau Ceti, has been streaking toward Earth at twice the speed of light. Because of a freak in communications, Mr. E found himself in telecontact with Dave Holliday, editor of a television newspaper. All had gone well until Mr. E passed the planet Jupiter. Then, suddenly...
Uh-oh, here comes trouble. Signing off for a moment, Mr. Holliday.
Mr. E, are you all right? What happened?
Don't know. I'm being bombarded by thousands of asteroids.
Asteroids? That means you've entered the great asteroid zone that ends at the orbit of Jupiter.
And you mean stars.
Depends which way you're heading, son.
The disaster, barely seconds before the harmless spacecraft is blasted out of existence by well-meaning but mistaken pursuers. Is this the end of Mr. E's mission of friendship? You won't want to miss the next incredible episode of Mr. E from Tau Ceti, Part 11. Closer and closer to Earth, trying desperately to communicate with Earth authorities who have jammed his broadcast frequency in the mistaken belief that the little man from outer space is an enemy. Only Dave Holliday, editor of the American News, knows the truth about Mr. E. But not even he suspects that at this very moment, a pursuer known by the codename Defender has blasted off on orders to destroy the ship from outer space.
Gosh, I know something's wrong.
Something's wrong.
This is Defender. Have reached enemy's orbit. Now computing correction necessary to overtake him. Correction completed. Have accelerated to speed faster than that of UFO. Now cutting booster engine. Gaining on UFO. Will intercept within next 2 minutes.
And so young Tim receives a child's series of living photographs snapped by his camera Blinky. Mr. E has been showing the young earthling Tim a humorous but accurate picture of our neighbors in space in the year 2010.
It's natural to wonder about your neighbors in space, Tim. And you have such interesting neighbors. An amazing array of planets. Orbiting a warm, friendly sun are such heavenly bodies as mighty Jupiter. Lovely Venus. Ringed Saturn. monarch of the seas, Neptune. And the great, though, they had to build the platform. To do that, they had to send many separate sections of the platform into orbit around Earth. Then all the sections and the men to assemble them had to be brought together in the same place at the same time.
I've heard of that. It's called rendezvous in orbit.
Right.
Rendezvous in 2010 AD. Using an incredible series of living photographs snapped by his camera Blinky, Mr. E has been able to show the young Earthling Tim a daring but actual plan devised years earlier that enabled man to explore the moon.
Oddly enough, it's easier to orbit the sun than the moon. Landing men on the moon is one of the hardest jobs of all. Earth engineers thought of launching a moonship from a platform in space.
The ship prepares to land on the 2010 AD. By means of a series of incredible living photographs snapped by his camera Blinky, Mr. E has been showing the young Earthling Tim an actual plan devised years earlier that enabled man to reach the moon in a ship launched from a platform in space.
At precisely the right moment.
Is that the Milky Way?
That's it. Very good portrait, too.
Looks like a flying saucer.
It does, with this stupendous difference. The Milky Way measures 100,000 light years across. Know how far that is?
How far?
1 light year equals almost 6 trillion miles. Multiply that by 100,000 and you've got it. Here we are at the arrow.
Mr. E is able to show the young Earthling Tim living photographs of outer space. His plan was to explain to the boy the role of Earth and her neighbors within the giant community of the Milky Way. But suddenly, Tim surprised the man from space by announcing that he would like to visit Mr. E's planet, Suma. Caught off guard, Mr. E explained that Suma was a strange world for outsiders. Tim wouldn't like it. When the boy insisted, Mr. E knew he had to prove his point.
Blinky, front and center. Get a shot of the Milky Way, will you? The whole galaxy. Let's show Tim how things are back home.